So today we get to take a look at Animal Man Deluxe Edition 1 and 2, which also sums up the entire Omnibus. So if you're more into the Omnibus side of things, the Grant Morrison Omnibus of Animal Man covers both these volumes. If you're more into having deluxe size, which mean the same length and everything as an omnibus, but not quite as big, then you could get these two deluxe editions, and that will cover the entire series. So what you're wondering is, what is Animal Man about, and is it worth buying? And is it Grant Morrison on full-on drugs or just semi-drugs? And that's a big difference for me when it comes to Grant Morrison. So opening the first deluxe edition, we have Buddy, who's the main character, Animal Man, and he's just a dad slash husband trying to be a superhero and provide the best way he could. If you don't know who Animal Man is, he basically can absorb the abilities of animals around him and use them as a weapon or even to save someone. So the first arc is kind of introducing him and his powers, but then we meet another who's able to control animals, and let me tell you, this leads to a brutal confrontation that took me by surprise, and I really enjoyed it. Then we have various one-shots after. One particular one that stands out, and one that you probably heard of, is the Roadrunner Coyote story, and let me just tell you, if you're going to break the fourth wall, this is how you do it. And it's mostly in a way to show violence and why it's needed to invoke reactions and story, but it's kind of touching the overall message by the end, and it's really well done. The rest of the stories here are solid, not as strong as those first 5 issues for me, but it's still good. Animal Man being a hero for the animals and trying to protect them makes 100% sense and really works well for this character's growth. I also enjoyed his time with the JLA and getting all the benefits from them. The origin story of where he got his powers and stuff, that one is kind of the weakest part of the overall collection for me. So the first deluxe edition is really solid, about a 4 out of 5, and I really enjoyed it. But it's the second collection that blew my mind. I mean, talk about meta. This is doing it in the right way and doing it so well. Most of the time for me, meta is done in a joking fashion, and it works. See something like Gwenpool. However, this meta talks about the dark takes on comics that were kind of taking over after the later half of the 80s and 90s, and how we use characters to almost torture them for our entertainment. This is a really dark and fucked up take on dark takes, so I really enjoyed that. It sounds like complicated, but it's really not when you read it. But it works so well for someone like Buddy, who has to go through the fucking ringer in this volume, losing everything and trying to get it back. It's done in such a way that I couldn't help but love it. I'm trying to be a little vague here because this story is over 30 years old, but still, it's so many cool twists, especially with the very last issue, and it just speaks on the medium of comics in general, and you can still relate to it this day and age. I think it had a lot to say, and it did it really well, and this was Grant Morrison doing his drug type stories, drugged out as hell, but doing it so well. This to me is a 5 out of 5. It's almost one of the most perfect superhero stories, and I couldn't help but love it. So, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit that like button. If you loved it, hit that subscribe button. And below, I want you to tell me what you think of this series. Or if you haven't read it, what is your favorite Grant Morrison series? Put that below. I hope you guys enjoyed, and everyone have a wonderful day.